2. Welcome back, WNST, Towson, Baltimore, and WNST.net. This is Titans Ravens. Where do I seem to remember that? And Al Del Greco and Steve McNair. This guy's been covering the Tennessee Titans from the very beginning. First for a long time at Tennessee, and now as a member of the Titans community and the Titans Online. He is a historian. I've got the purple lights out here. Jim Wyatt, you and I, we've talked a lot over the last 10, 11 years about the old days, and we talked Dodgers baseball and love of Nashville and music and whatnot. But, boy, the old days are here again. It's Titans-Ravens for the money for the fourth time in postseason, right?
Yeah, and it should be fun. I mean, the Titans coming off a big win against the Patriots over the weekend, and that sets the stage for a game really that's kind of flipping history a little bit, because the Titans and Ravens have met at least twice when the Titans were the number one seed in the AFC and the Ravens knocked them out. Happened back in 2000, happened again in 2008, and now the roles are reversed a little bit. I think the Ravens considered by a lot of people the best team in the NFL, certainly the best team in the AFC. So it should be a big challenge for the Titans coming into Baltimore.
Well, and overwhelming to some degree, short rest, beating up on the Patriots. The one thing we always hear about Lamar is first time around, you don't really know how fast he is. And, Dean Pease has a lot of experience in our building here. Not a lot of experience with Lamar, though.
He doesn't, and I know Mike Vrabel yesterday was talking about preparing for Lamar, watching him on film and seeing everything that the Ravens do, and said, hey, this would be a fun game to watch if you're not preparing for it and get ready to play him. I mean, because it's completely different when you face a guy like that. So it's a completely different challenge than what the Titans just faced in New England. We had a veteran quarterback, and you know where he's going to be, and it's all about him having time and sitting in the pocket and finding receivers. With Lamar, you look at his numbers. I mean, he puts up ridiculous numbers throwing the football, but then he runs for over 1,000 yards. You know he makes plays on the run. You know he's going to tuck it and run it, and he's going to put a heck of a lot of stress on the defense on Sunday. And I think the Titans realize that. I mean, I'm personally looking forward to seeing him play in person. I've kind of watched him from afar, dating back to his playing days at Louisville, seeing him in the pros, knowing the doubts that people had about him, and then just seeing how he's handled it and done so in such a classy manner. So it will be fun to witness him, but I guess maybe Titans need to find a way to limit his highlight reel plays.
Jim Wyatt has been covering the Nashville scene in the Tennessee Titans from the very beginning, coming in through Memphis and Vanderbilt and playing games there. And for all the history that goes into this, and you've been there for all the seminal moments where they moved into Nashville, they move into a stadium, they play for a Super Bowl, they come a yard from a Super Bowl. It felt like they had one coach ever in Fisher, right? And my boy Jim Schwartz came through there, and the late, great Mike Heimerdinger and other people that were associated many years ago. The bringing in of Mike Vrabel and the passing down of the franchise after the death of the patriarch and the dark era, after Vince Young and years where they couldn't get up and they couldn't win, and the promise of Marcus Mariota, right? That this would be happening with Ryan Tannehill. I would say if you're going to write a Titans reign one, if they actually beat the Ravens and win a Super Bowl, it would go back to Vrabel, right? Like Vrabel's been a real leader of men there in a way that, no offense to any of the other legends that have run around there from the Adams family, but this has been a turning of a page where sort of the Patriot way to some degree, the Bill O'Brien way sort of came to Nashville, and now he's gone and beaten Belichick and Brady with this group. It's very, very impressive what Mike Vrabel has done.
Yeah, and I think you got to even turn it back to John Robinson, the GM, and turn it back to Amy Adams Strunk, the owner, because it was kind of their vision that put this whole plan in motion. I mean, because the Titans were coming off a 9-7 season when Mike Vrabel was hired. They were coming off a season when they won at Kansas City in the playoffs, and then they lost in New England. And that was, I think a lot of people felt like the team was in a pretty good place, but just wondered if they were going to take it to another level. And that's where John Robinson, a former Patriot himself, and Amy Adams Strunk decided, we want to try to go from being good to great. And that's the mantra under Mike Vrabel. So they parted ways with Mike Mularkey, hired Mike Vrabel, and go 9-7 last year. And then this year, things didn't look great. I mean, it was 2-4 after week 6. I was in Denver and saw the Titans get shut out in that game with Marcus Mariota. And the decision was made at that point to kind of turn the reins over to Ryan Tannehill. And obviously the biggest decision of Mike Vrabel's coaching career, and it wasn't all him. Again, it was Robinson and it was the owner that weighed in on this, but it was kind of a season-defining moment that a lot of people didn't think was going to go so well. I mean, Marcus had a lot of followers. He still does. And people that hated to see him be replaced and hated to see him viewed as a scapegoat. He wasn't a scapegoat. He just wasn't playing very well, and they had to make a move. So they go with Ryan Tannehill. A lot of people held their breath. A lot of people thought, season was going to go down the drain. I remember shooting a video the day that Ryan Tannehill took the field as a starter for the first time, and somebody pointed out the fact that, Highway to Hell was playing in the background, and that's the direction the season was going to go for the Titans, that's where they were heading. And
who knew it was the highway to Baltimore?
That's exactly right. So since Ryan Tannehill ends up guiding this team to a 7-3 record in the final 10 games. He ends up leading the league in passer rating. Derrick Henry took off and led the league in rushing, and here we are now, like you said, Nestor, coming into Baltimore after beating the defending Super Bowl champions and heading there with some momentum.
Let's talk about that momentum. Jim Wyatt joining us here. Please follow him at J Wyatt Sports. He is a Titans historian, and certainly my first reach to find out what's going on with the team. Has always been around the team, now on the inside at Titans Online. And, from the inside out of this thing, there's been some improvement. And I keep talking about Derrick Henry and him running the ball at Alabama and being sort of unstoppable then, and I thought he would be that at the NFL level. Certainly was a big part of what you guys did over the weekend up in New England. Your thoughts about maybe this thing peaking at the right time and guys coming together and where Tannehill is in this thing, because he's not throwing for 400 yards, right? Like if that has to be the game on Saturday night here in Baltimore, it's going to be a long night for the Titans. A game plan that wins this game on Saturday probably includes a really healthy diet of Derrick Henry and having success with that, because that would be the way they stay in this football game.
I would think so. And I will say, if somebody would have told me that they'd win a game in New England with Tannehill just completing 8 of 15 passes for, I think, 72 yards, I told them no way, because while they have relied on Derrick Henry a good part of the season, Ryan Tannehill has been a big part of it. I mean, he has been really effective. He's throwing the ball for a lot of yards. He put up I'm finding my stat sheet here, but going down the stretch, throwing the football for the Titans. I mean, he had a 391-yard game in Oakland. He had a 279-yard game against the Texans, 272 against the Saints. He had a 259 against Jacksonville. He had a 331 against Carolina, 312 against the Chargers. So he has thrown it around the yard a lot of games and had success doing so. But here in recent weeks, the Titans have really leaned on Henry. It was a 211-yard game for him in Houston to clinch a playoff spot. And then this past weekend, he puts up 204 of the team's 279 yards of total offense, most of that running it. So,
well, you don't have to throw it if you can run it like that. I mean, that's sort of the story of the Ravens. I mean, Lamar doesn't wow anybody with 400-yard passing games because he doesn't have to.
Yeah, and that's what they have kind of done is leaned on Henry, and that takes pressure off of everybody. It opens up your play action. So I look at Baltimore's defense, and they certainly have got great numbers as far as rushing yards allowed. Rushing average not as good, and I can't help but think, well, a lot of teams just have abandoned the run because they've been behind so much against Baltimore. So I'm curious to see how much the Titans test them early.
Jim, for you in seeing the surprise of the season and where the team's gone over the last 8 weeks, it's not just about Ryan Tannehill or just about Mike Vrabel or just about Derrick Henry. Obviously, a lot of guys playing well. Defensively, that's going to be the struggle for the Titans this week is how do you stop Lamar Jackson and can you stop Lamar Jackson? What are the prospects for that? And certainly this is what's going to keep Dean Pease up at night all week.
Heck yeah. I mean, and even you know how games are, you can prepare and you can prepare and you can prepare and you can have a plan, but then when the game hits and Lamar Jackson's, improvising, then all that preparation's out the window. I mean, you can't. It's like when Chris Johnson. I talked to him, and he was in Foxborough for the game, and he was talking about Derrick Henry. But I certainly remember so many times where players facing Chris Johnson just, tried to take angles on him and misjudged his speed, and you don't really know what you're up against until it's actually happening. So I think the Titans are going to have a lot of that on Saturday night is that, they're going to think they've got Lamar Jackson pinned in. They're going to think they have a good angle on him. They're going to think they can make a play on him, and he's going to make break a tackle, and get in open space, and he's going to run by people. And I think if you're the Titans, that's what you've got to figure out as a way to keep him from killing you, running for first downs on 3rd and 8, tucking it when guys are covered and making a huge play. And they've got some pretty speedy linebackers and guys who are going to have to set an edge and keep him pinned in where he doesn't kill him.
Well, and I guess for every team to flip on the film, I've mentioned Eric Weddle several times because I was out in L.A. when the Ravens ran all over the Rams, and he practiced against Lamar last year for 8 months, 9 months, was in the locker room and thought that they would have a better grip on it and said that he couldn't see the ball. Like the one thing about this offense is that you don't know where the ball is or where it's going, that's the hardest thing to keep up with in real time. It's not seeing Lamar with the ball out in space and watching him run by you. It's thinking Mark Ingram has the ball and Lamar Jackson's running by you. Yeah,
and that's so tough to defend, and it kind of keeps you on your heels as a defender. And you hear so much about players wanting to play fast and not overthink things, and that's the key to success. Well, when you've got a quarterback and you've got a running back who work so well together, and they do keep you guessing, and they do a lot of misdirection stuff that kind of makes you uncertain, that's what wears on the defense. And so, I mean, it's going to take a heck of an effort. And I know listening to Vrabel talk, after, you can't celebrate a win against the Patriots very long when you know the challenge is coming up.
He is Jim Wyatt. He's covering all things Tennessee Titans as we get ready for the Ravens. For the Patriots, and to go up there and do that, and to be in, I know what that feels like, Jim. I know what it feels like to lose to Billy Cundiff and Lee Evans in the drop and all of that stuff as well, but there's something about riding out of that stadium, having ended the Patriots season, that is satisfying on a level that, there is a high about driving out of there to the Providence airport to escape that place, right?
Well, especially since you've been in, I haven't worked for the team the whole time, so it's different for me now as a member of the team compared to when I was working at Tennessee and covering games. But
I remember one night Schwartz froze his ass off up there. You guys lost, right? Like that was about 15 years ago, long time ago, right?
Yeah. Well, I remember leaving that stadium so many times I can only imagine what the team felt like those days. And I actually do remember because I was in the locker room talking to those guys. But there was a playoff game up there in the 2003 season when the Titans season ended, and it was 4 degrees at kickoff, and it was 20 below zero. And
so that's the one I remember. Yeah, it was 2003 that happened.
That was in 2003. It was coming off of a win in Baltimore when Gary Anderson made the field goal late. And
that was the year that Schwartz picked me up at the airport in Nashville. We went to see Rush over at the shed that they ripped up in Antioch. And he picked me up, and he said to me, we got to stop by. I got something at work. I got to stop by. And we stopped by the bubble there on the Cumberland River that I believe you guys still work in it. And he took me to the lunchroom with all the Houston Oiler memorabilia. And then he took me into his office and shut the door and locked it and made me watch the film. It's true. That's a true story. Anthony Wright, who I saw here a couple of months ago. Yes, I remember that pretty. That's how long ago that game was, right? So it doesn't feel like it was 17 years ago to me.
Yeah, it's hard to believe. So it's great history with the Ravens, but as you asked me about New England and leaving there with the win, like I remember that playoff game when the Titans lost in those chilly temperatures. Chilly, and when I say chilly, I mean 4 degrees and 20 below zero. And I was there when the Titans lost 59-0 to the Patriots in 2009. I was there when the Titans lost and had their season end in 2017 against the Patriots. And there were a lot of Titans fans who were actually happy with the draw instead of going to Kansas City. And I said, be careful what you wish for, because this is a team that has broken so many hearts. So you go in there and you win. I think it was shocking to the people in Foxborough, and you do feel good about it. And I think the Titans felt great about it leaving. But then going into Baltimore, these guys are playing now. They don't remember some of these Titans-Ravens games from where we go back to. So that will bring up a lot of nostalgia, a lot of memories for us, just because, I remember the 2000 game here, AFC, the AFC playoff game when the Titans were the number 1 seed, and Ray Lewis makes a play where he takes the ball away around midfield, runs back for a touchdown. I remember when the Ravens came in here and beat the Titans when they were the number 1 seed in 2008. I remember the Gary Anderson field goal that I referenced earlier when Eddie George kind of came back off a separated shoulder and redeemed himself against Ray Lewis. And certainly remember a lot of great matchups in this series. So it's going to be neat to be back in that stadium on Saturday night.
We used to do this down at your place. We'll do it up here. Hey, do me a favor, man. Bring me some barbecue. I'll work out some fresh crab cakes here. I'll make sure you don't get any tourist crab cakes. Take that out of Faithley's or something down here. This is going to be a great matchup, and it's always good to catch up with you, especially when the stakes are high. Please don't end our season, Jim. I'm flying down to Miami on Thursday and Friday. I'm scouting Super Bowl locations. I'm wearing the purple Festivus lights. City's on fire. There's going to be a lot of magic here on Saturday night, man. Good football game ahead. Rest up, or as Steve Smith said, ice up. How about that?
Yeah, I'll be ready. I'm already scouting out some places to find some good crab cakes. I always enjoy the crab cakes here at the stadium that they hand out at the half. I hope they still do that, but I got to find a place down the Inner Harbor on Friday night to enjoy some crab cakes.
Jim, you have a friend in Baltimore. I know a guy, so you can text me. Jim, always good to visit, man. Be well. We'll see the Titans here on Saturday night. Let's play some football, all right?
Look forward to it. I appreciate you having me.
Always, Jim Wyatt, J. Wyatt, W-Y-A-T-T Sports. He's covered the Titans since 1999 and now a senior writer with Titans Online on the inside. I didn't even get to talk any Dodgers baseball with him, which I'll wait for the spring. We don't talk. Do we still do baseball here? The buy at Toyota.com Audio Vault is accessible from anywhere in the world, anytime. WNST.net available on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Snapchat, Instagram. We're going to Miami, hopefully, if the Titans don't beat us. If we can beat the Chiefs or beat the Houston Texans. Locations, you'll see me out on social media all week long. We have Sam Cooke on Tuesday night at Greenmount Station. Come on out. Meet the Ravens' legendary punter and historian of the team. I mean, you talk about all the things we've seen. Sam has seen it all on the inside for 15 seasons, now trying to win a second Super Bowl ring. He's a family man, tough to get him out, but he wanted to come out, see the fans, meet the fans, and talk a little bit about his journey from Nebraska here. By the way, I looked up his hometown. It's crazy. Going to have fun with Sam Cooke on Tuesday, so make sure you're checking that out at Greenmount Station. Nasty at WNST.net is the best way to find me. The morning newspaper still shipping and all brought to you by Planet Fitness. $5 down, $10 a month, always getting you in the best shape of your life, guaranteed. Dennis will be here on Thursday with the Dennis Colazzo Show 3 until 5. The newly minted Monday morning Terp Talk show with Bruce Posner that's turned into Raven Talk each and every morning. Monday morning with Carl Science, also Monday and Monday afternoon. So we've expanded a little programming here for sure, adding more voices, getting all over Nashville this week. We are WNST.net, AM 1570, and WNST Towson, Baltimore, and we never stop talking Festivus and Baltimore sports.